like telling me like stacks they've heard about or their buddy took. Of course, no one admits, like, yeah, that was me. But they're like 1,500 tests, 1,000 milligrams Deca, fucking 150 milligrams of Anadrol every day, and then test no ester right before the workouts. I'm like, dude, but I'm the one that loses the kidney.
Why it's important to stay humble, going through everything I have been through, is knowing that we're only one injury away from it all being over.
This is like the same exact bike. You got one set up in the front, one set up in the back. And I bought them at the same time. It's hard. Get it together, Rogue. It's hard to say. Hammer strength holds up. A lot of the racks, like Elite FTS, you know, Rogue makes a good product. Just depends on what you're buying. Like, some things get used more than others, and that's why I prefer like plate-loaded machines over cable. Cable just needs more maintenance, especially with some of the guys we got here, man. Little trimmer. It'll take some time, man. I'm 11 weeks post-op, so still on pretty heavy doses of everything, and I squatted for the first time yesterday. I'm starting to push my legs. My legs have lost the most strength, and it's really just due to, like, they call it peripheral weakness, and it really affects the thighs. But like, for the first 6 weeks, man, I couldn't even go down the stairs without holding the rail. It felt like my knees were gonna give out, and everything I did, it like standing felt like I was shaking. And my legs got a lot smaller in that period of time. When I first started powerlifting, I had no idea there was weight classes. I didn't even know you could do it drug-free. I might have stayed natty. All I knew was like the biggest total got the most attention, because everybody I watched was putting up some crazy numbers, like Dan Green and Brandon Lilly, Stan Epernine, Eric Spoto. Like, those guys were putting up huge numbers. So I was like, dude, if I gotta compete with these motherfuckers. That's one thing people forget. Like, I only competed for 3 years. They think I had like this long career, and I didn't. My first competition was June 2015. My last competition was November 2018. It's like that. I just did a lot more in my short period of time than most people do their entire career.
Based on your experience, how long does an average powerlifter last in the game?
Well, it depends, man. Average, like, high-level powerlifter, not long. It's like there's like very few guys that do it long-term, but it can be done. But most, like, there's like you hear about a name for a few years and then they're gone. Like, I was one of them. You know, mine wasn't by choice or burnout or injury, but whatever the case may be, I was gone. But I did the most in that amount. My goal was always to open up a gym, and I did it. Now, some people would argue like, oh, you didn't need to do what you did in order to open up a gym. And I'm like, dude, we opened up Indy City, we had 100 members the first month. Like, you can't tell me having a bigger social media presence, and I only did it through powerlifting, didn't help, you know? Indiana is not the mecca for fitness. Like, I think out of 50 states, we rank 48th for fittest, which means we're number 3 for fattest. But like, yeah. That's why people are like, why would you leave California to come to, and I'm like, well, first off, like, downtown metro Indy is different than like rural Indiana, where like you go to Walmart in Muncie, it's gonna be a lot different than like hanging out at a local coffee shop. Like there's studies on it that people that are in shape do better with their careers and relationships because they're willing to put in work. Like, we're comfortable being uncomfortable. And on top of that, you look better, so why the fuck not? Everybody remembers me talking about my heart rate and blood pressure all throughout dialysis, and now my resting heart rate's in the 60s. So like, my doctors are amazed I'm rebounding health-wise, Obviously, like physically, I'm not where I want to be, but or strength-wise, you know, I put up 205 on the bench press for a set of 8, and my arms were cooking. But my doctors are like asking me what I did, and I told them I kept working out, I kept doing cardio. I mean, you remember how many times I was out of breath doing sets?
Oh, yeah.
And we'd have to take long breaks.
Oh, yeah.
Or I'd be like, hey man, that's it for today. And we did like 3 exercises.
Yep.
But I tried. Never stopped putting effort in. They made me the face of IU transplant.
No.
Yeah.
Nice.
They came in here and interviewed me and took some pictures. Like, I get it, exploiting the young guy. See, in the gym culture, I'm old, but for kidney transplants, I'm like a baby. They're like, oh, we'll plug your gym. And I'm like, first off, I don't think the people looking into kidney transplant or the gym's demographic. I don't think they're coming here and being like, this is where I need to be before transplant. Does anybody remember like functional fitness? You do like these evaluations and you would take pictures and people and their posture sucked. And you're like, oh, you're like, chest is too tight. We really need to work your back muscles in order. And it's like, dude, all you got to do is tell them to sit up straight. If they're capable of sitting up straight, it's not a structural issue. Like, you just need the cues. It's like anything else. You're training your body to do this all day. You need to train your body to do this. But it was a sales technique, so if you ever fell for it, you're a sucker. It's a complimentary assessment, and we're going to do a fitness assessment. It's not a fitness assessment. It's a sales tool. I know, because I used to help build them. It's like, we don't do them here. It's like, you know, I believe in what I do and I believe in the value of personal training and coaching. Here's what I have to offer. If you want to sign up, sign up. If you don't want to, try it on your own. See how far you get. Some people can do it on their own and use apps, but a lot of people will find excuses to not be successful. Dude, when I used to like wear, I was Simon Cowell before Simon Cowell was Simon Cowell. I wore black shirts and jeans everywhere. Like so much so, like, remember when Morgan was in town?
Yeah.
We shot that video. Me and him both wore black shirts and jeans. We were standing outside waiting for Lauren to come out of the bar. And people started handing us their IDs because they thought we were bouncing. I was like, $20 cover, guys. Why are people putting 10s on the leg press? Go. Need to put a chip on for that PR. 25s and 45s, that's all you need on that machine. Days, like I'm starting to add weight, but I was using only the bar. But I'm probably out of the clear of like herniating, but the doctor's got it like so fucking pounded in my head that if I herniate out of the incision, like you'll never be able to deadlift again. I'm like, and so many people message me like, just focus on your health, it's okay, you don't have anything to prove. I'm like, dude, like it's not sacrificing my health. I don't know why you guys see it that way. And secondly, like I'm doing what I enjoy. Everybody needs a hobby. This is just what I choose to do as mine. Like some guys like go shoot guns or go hunting or, you know, like I like fitness. I like working out. So I like setting challenging goals. And, you know, I like trust me, I have other goals besides fitness goals. Like I have business goals, relationship goals, family goals. Like I definitely have diversity. It's not like I'm just a fucking dumb meathead. I need to lift so much weight. Like, no, but if I can have fun doing it, and why not? And stay healthy, like why not? I hate those clients that'll be like, how many reps are we doing? I'm like, I don't know yet. Like, you can have a rep goal, but if you tell your client what it is, they'll just stop when they get there. Like, what'd you stop for? Well, you said we were doing 12. I'm like, yeah, I want to shoot for 12. If you're not fatigued after 12, like this isn't sub-max. You're not a powerlifter that can bench 500 pounds and we need to like dial you back. Just go for broke every time. Don't worry, you won't overdo it. Like most guys that are starting like your first 2 to 3 years of lifting, like unless you're old and injuries and coming in with pre-existing problems, like you probably can't overdo it. Can you be a good bodybuilder without deadlifting? Sure. Can you deadlift and be a good bodybuilder? Yes. You got to figure out what, you know, I don't know about, what do you say, risk to reward or benefit to reward?
Risk to reward, benefit to reward.
I mean, No, I don't think, like if you have proper technique and like push proper intensity, which means like if you're a bodybuilder, probably keeping it on the lower half, right? Like, is there a reason that bodybuilders need to deadlift 800 pounds? Like, that's hard for me to argue, but could they benefit from that? Absolutely. Higher force production? Absolutely. Creating muscle density? Like, yeah. But do you need that? No, you don't need to, and there's plenty of bodybuilders that don't. But would some form of deadlifting be good? Probably. Like RDLs or dumbbell deadlifts, like where it's a little bit safer, but maybe working the negative or working tempo work. And yeah, but I also think more bodybuilders now are drug dependent. Like they take a lot more drugs, different variety of drugs, and just, you don't need as much stimulus when you got chemistry doing a lot of the work. Like you could do very little stimulus as opposed to someone who's doing less drugs. If you're a hyper responder like some of these guys are, and you can't argue that they're not, because you have 21-year-olds with like Olympian physiques, and you're just like, how the fuck did that happen in 2 years? Wasn't their training program, because they're not doing anything different than what you guys are doing. And it wasn't their secret diet, because we all know how to eat clean and how to eat in a surplus. They're hyper responders. Somebody DM'd me and they're like, you'll see, man, every time you get some pain, you're gonna think there's something going on with your kidney. I'm like, dude, I'm not a hypochondriac. Now I'm like calling my coordinator, I don't know, there's something weird. Uh-oh, we got 10 that time. What's better is what works for you. So some people will stick to the group because it holds them accountable and they go with their friends and it's fun for them. Other people, you know, like a personal trainer is going to be more structured towards you, but not everybody can afford that. So long term, like what suits you best. If paying for group training helps, like then do that. Obviously, I'm a personal trainer. I'm going to tell you that personal training is better, but it's honestly like what you can do and what you can stick to. The best exercise is the one you'll do. The best diet is the one you'll do. I'm getting stronger every step. Yeah, I'd have like a coughing fit, and that would last like a couple minutes. And it got so bad, like it gave me anxiety going into it. I'd have like the shot loaded up, and I'd get a cold cup of water, blast my AC, because I had a window unit out in California. And then I would like take it and then go sit in front, waiting for the cough to hit. And it was like the only cooling myself down, because I'd break out into like a fucking sweat. I hated Tren. I only took it like 5-6 weeks tops. Yeah, then it turned into like the last 4 weeks of my prep, I would take Tren. But I knew guys that were doing it like 12, 16 weeks. I'm like, holy fuck. I'd lose my appetite and get bigger.
Science.
Yeah. Well, it's like one of the few drugs that can do that. Anavar can do that too. Anavar is a muscle wasting drug. So they give it to patients that are like burn victims and sitting in the ICU that are like physically can't eat, and it prevents muscle from wasting. And what they found was it was actually putting on lean tissue to inactive people. Then bodybuilders were like, thank you. Like I talked about cycles the other day, and then people were DMing me like because I was like, fucking grams? Dudes took grams, and people were like telling me like stacks they've heard about or their buddy took. Of course, no one admits, like, yeah, that was me. But they're like 1,500 tests, 1,000 milligrams DECA, fucking 150 milligrams of Anadrol every day, and then test no ester right before the workouts. I'm like, dude, but I'm the one that loses the kidney. I feel good though at the end of my workouts. I don't feel like beat up or gassed like I used to. Really not seeing much progress, but I guess that's to be expected.
What are your factors for measuring progress right now?
Weight mostly, and then how I look in the mirror. You know, I took a strong turn there in the hospital, not lifting weights for 2.5 months. I lose size very fast. And they put you on a bunch of like medicine that breaks down tissue and anti-inflammatories, which are horrible for muscles and strength. So as we start decreasing that over the next couple of weeks, like I already feel better than I did when we first started working out again, but you know, it's a long haul. That's why I said I'm gonna give myself to July, and we're beginning of April right now, till I even start thinking about pushing myself. So I'm really just in like the recovery phase. I shouldn't have expectations, but I do, you know. To say that I don't is a lie. Like, I just expect a very high level from myself because I know what I'm capable of. And right now and all throughout dialysis, it was like, just keep showing up, just keep showing up, just keep showing up. And I did. And that's all I really can do right now. And like, honestly, like the big picture things, that's enough, you know, that's enough for now. But to say I'm not anxious to start strength training or anxious to like start developing a physique again or anxious for those things is a lie. Like I do, it's fun for me. But I think anybody who's like been an athlete or is an athlete or competes, they can tell you the same thing.